Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Nomenclature. Don't mind my camera, please. Just try to gain what you have to gain, and if you really want to help me, you can still buy a camera from me. Thank you very much. So today we are going to go over the nomenclature of alkanes. I've written some compounds, some alkane compounds in alkane family rather. So this is a stick, call it the stick method. So I'm going to write it out in full, then we'll name it together. So the first one looks like this. So if I'm to write it out in full, don't get confused with this, it doesn't really mean a lot. So it's just trying to, instead of writing long chains, this can help us economize space to get. So that's why we use the stick method. So with this, it means that there is a carbon here, there's a carbon here, there's another carbon here, there's another carbon here, there's a carbon here, there's a carbon here, there's a carbon here. So we're going to write it out in full. So the first carbon is C. So there's a line, a single line. Have another C, this C. There's another line, another C, another C. I hope you're following. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 C's now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another C. Now there's a C below this. There's a single bond. That means this is a substituent. So we have a C here and another C here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have written out the stick formula into the expanded form. Now we can't leave this like this because this carbon, since there is no, in stick method we don't usually write the hydrogens. So I'm going to put the hydrogens here. Carbon is supposed to have 4 bonds. So I have 1 already, 1 again, another 1. So there should be a hydrogen here, but it's not usually written. So you can do it yourself. A hydrogen, 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 and a hydrogen. So we've expanded this. So the next thing we should do here is to name the compound. Okay, so when naming alkanes, the first thing we should do is identify the longest carbon chain, the longest chain of carbons. So we'll try find out the chain here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can also go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. No. So since we've counted in 2 directions now, and we notice that the longest chain here is 6. So whenever you have the longest chain to be 1 carbon, you call it meth. You have 2 carbons, you call it F. You have 3 carbons, you call it prop. If you have 4 carbons, you call it bot. If you have 5 carbons, you call it pent. If you have 6 carbons, you call it hex. If you have 7 carbons, you call it hept. If you have 8 carbons, you call it oct. If you have 9 carbons, you call it non. If you have 10 carbons, you call it deck. Okay, so we'll go back to the expanded structure we drew earlier. So we noticed that the longest chain here is 6 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to do ourselves good, we can just put enclose it in, I call this a circle or anything you can call it. So you can label. Now there are 2 ways to label this. You can label from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can also label from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the best way to label is the side that will give, label from the direction that will give a substituent the lowest possible number. Now here, we notice that this is a substituent because it's not enclosed in this our loop, if I could call it that. It is outside this loop. So since it's outside this loop, it's called a substituent. It's not part of the longest chain. So while naming, you should make sure that all the substituents are put into consideration while naming. So since we have a substituent, and this substituent has only one carbon. One carbon means what? Meth, right? Meth. But because it's a substituent, remember that we are naming alkanes. Because we are naming alkanes, it means that when we are naming our last name, the end of our name will bear alkane group. But because this is a substituent, we will not call it alkane. We call it methyl, right? It's one carbon, but it's meth. So you call it methyl group. So this you can go ahead. Let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are our 6 carbons. Now this substituent is positioned on the second carbon. Notice we did not label from here, because if we label from here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The substituent will be on the 5th carbon, which makes it wrong. Okay, so I always tell people to write out all the substituent first before you name. So here, the substituent is on the second, so we call it 2-methyl. I always like writing out everything first before you can then put them together. Now, the second is methyl because it's on the second carbon. Am I making sense? So the longest chain is hex because it's 6, right? 6 carbons. And whenever you have 6 carbons, it's called hex. So this is hex. But because we have single bonds here and we are dealing with alkanes, so it's going to be hexane. Remember that the longest carbon chain determines the end name. Determines the end name in your Iupac nomenclature. So there's no other thing here to name. There's no other substitute. What about the hydrogens? It's not really necessary. We don't just write all of them. So we can put this together. We now have 2-methyl hexane. Very good, boy. So remember, I put a dash before and between an alphabet and a number. So this is 2-methyl hexane. Have you seen it? It doesn't seem hard as it looked initially, because some people will get scared seeing this. They'll think, oh my god, this stick method, how will I do this? It doesn't look like an organic compound at all. Oh no, I advise you to put it out in this form, then you can name it. Okay, so the second one, I have this one like this. Because of space, I'm going to write it out below, number 2. So it looks like this. It looks like this. Can you see it? Then don't be scared. Don't be scared at all. What you should do is write it out in full, then you name it. Okay? So you can pause the video, then follow the previous example I did, and then tell me what you got. Maybe just play it afterwards so you can know if you got it right. Okay, let's go on. So the first thing we'll do, our advice is to write it out in full. You can expand this. If you're okay with this, you can name it directly. You mustn't write it in full unless specified. Okay, so we have a carbon here. We have a carbon here. So this is carbon. You have another carbon here. There's another carbon. You have another carbon here. It's another carbon. We have another 1, 2, 3. Then we have a chain. We have another carbon here. My camera is misbehaving. Bear with me, please. Oh my God. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we have single bonds, so we can just fill in the hydrogen because it's an alkane. Okay, so we're going to use the same method. Okay, so we're going to label. We're going to identify the longest carbon chain. I believe you know how to do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we just have 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, you don't count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then like no, it's wrong. So I said longest. So 1, 2, 3. Either you count like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's wrong to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you come to this side. No, so you follow the same direction. Okay. So since it will give you the same number of chains, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same 4. So it doesn't matter where you count from. Okay. So we can name this. We can label. Now you don't label from here, because if you label from here 1, 2, 3, you will notice that the substituent here is going to be on the third carbon. Am I making sense? But here, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, so the substituent will be on the second carbon. So the best way to count is from here. So the substituent is 2-methyl. Then we have, remember when you have 4 carbons, you have bots. Okay? So you have butane. So you can bring them together. You have 2-methyl butane. Am I making sense? Yes, that is it. Very good boy. So that's it. Very easy. You don't even need to stress yourself over that. Just use the same method. Okay? I'll do number 3 and 4. I'll leave number 5 to you to do. And comment below under the comment section your answer. Okay. The third one is like this. The third one is like this. I will write it. 1. It's like this. So we'll expand it. So expanding this, we'll have C, 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 C. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can add our hydrogens. Okay, we're done. This should be very simple because there is no substituent here. So you can just name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when you have 9 carbons, what's it called? Non-name. So this is simply non-name. Very good. It's as easy as that. Okay. Non-name, because our longest chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and because we don't have a substituent, so this is just non-name. I hope you're like getting what I'm saying. I know you love the video. I don't need to ask. Please just subscribe to my channel so you can get more videos from me. Help me grow. Okay, thank you. The last one before I leave, so you can do the fifth one. The fourth one looks like this. Looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have. Oh, I think I drew the fifth one. It was the fifth one I drew. Okay, I'm going to do the fifth one. So you can do the fourth one. So this one is your assignment. Don't mind me. So you're going to do number 4. I'm going to do number 5. So I've already drawn it. Okay, so this iodine have chlorine here. So you can expand this. I wanted you to do number 5. Maybe nature wanted me to just do this one. Oh my god. You can still do it anyways. Okay, let's go on. C. I have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 3, 4 here, 5 here, 6, 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the iodine is on the second carbon. 1, 2. So you can put it here. This one is on the 4th carbon. So you can put it here. You can add our hydrogens. Okay, so we count our longest chain. Please, when counting your longest chain, you don't count chlorine or iodine because they are not carbons. Okay, this chlorine and this is iodine, so we leave them. It shouldn't be part of our longest chain. Like we shouldn't consider them. You get? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can count like this. 7. Now you can count 1, you can label from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's wrong. Don't try that because if you count from here, you're going to have chlorine and iodine that are they will have a very high number. You get? They'll be on the carbon with a very high number, which is wrong. You should count from the direction that will give the carbons, the substituents, the lowest number possible. So these are substituents, iodine and chlorine. So the best way to count is here like this: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 2, you have to write them out like I always say. 2 iodine, but you call it iodo. You get? So chlorine is 4 chloro. When you have 7 carbons, what's it called? Heptane. Because single bonds that we have, so it's in. Remember, we are naming alkanes. So we can put them together. Now, when you want to write the full name, you consider the first letter like alphabetical order. You arrange them in alphabetical order. So this is our end name, so we're leaving it. We don't. Is the end name? It should be the last name there. So we have chlorine and iodine. In the alphabetical table, we have chlorine first before iodine. So this is 4 chloro, 2 iodo, heptane. Whoa! Just how many minutes? We've already done all this. You can name it right. It's very simple to name. So this is a very good boy. So I have named all of them, and I believe you can name them right now. Very good boy. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new here. So we're gonna do number 4, and I want to say in the comment section what you've done so far and what you got. Please subscribe, share to your friends, help me grow, please. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Hi, bye.